What's up, guys, and welcome back to EarthBound / Mother 2. Let's play. Alright. Last time, we took down Master Belch at Belch's factory, which returned all the kidnapped Mr. Saturns here to Saturn Valley, which is great. Gave us access to the higher portion of Saturn Valley, where a guy was trying to give us coffee next to, the hot springs, but we'll get into that a little bit later. Real quick, I want to go ahead and show off the stats real quick for Jeff. Said real quick there twice, so it must be double speed. He has an IQ of 23, and he's a ways away from leveling up, plus a level up doesn't guarantee that his IQ will go up. But we do have an IQ capsule, so I'm going to go ahead and use this on Jeff, because I want to get his IQ up to 24, because that is a very important number for the broken laser. So let's go ahead and see if he'll fix it during the night. And that he did. So now we have the laser gun. Which brings me to my next thing. I've done a little bit of inventory management, and we'll go over that after I show the equips. I've equipped the Mr. Saturn coin on Ness because he had the lowest defense at, I believe, 43, and now he has 77, which is an immense defense stat. Paula's at 50, and Jeff needs a weapon. I got rid of the Magnum air gun. Since you can't sell it, I just let it go with the S-Cargo Express along with a whole bunch of other items. Now he has a 74 offense. That's wicked. I mean, that's higher than anyone else's. Wow, just by one, which is funny. Anyway, so let's go ahead and look at the goods. I got rid of the HP sucker, some defense sprays, and all that other jazz that I don't really need. The jar of fly honey you don't need anymore. And here's basically my inventory. And that's about all I'm going to say there. I would suggest taking a lot more healing items than I have right now, because the journey that we're about ready to take is a little bit difficult, surprisingly. And now here's a part of the game that I really enjoy, but it's kind of weird. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk to this guy. He may be strange looking, but I trust his coffee. Drink coffee before go. Say yes to me, say no to me. We'll say yes, because like I said, I trust him. Bottoms up, boing! Oh, great. Acid trip. I misplaced my trust. Well, I'm going to be a little bit quiet here, because I got to read some text in a soothing, stoic voice, I guess. You've traveled from very far from home, and I've already messed it up. Oh, well. Do you remember how your long and winding journey began with someone pounding at your door? It was Pokey, the worst person in your neighborhood, who knocked on the door that fateful night. On your way, you have walked, thought, and fought. Yet through all this, you have never lost your courage. You have grown steadily stronger, though you have experienced the pain of battle many times. You are no longer alone in your journey. Paula, who is steadfast, kind, and even pretty, is always at your side. Jeff is with you as well, but though he is timid, he came from a distant land to help you. Ness, as you certainly know by now, you are not a regular young man. You have an awesome destiny to fulfill. I love that line. I also love this music. The journey from this point will be long, and it will be more difficult than anything you have undergone to this point. Yet, I know you will be all right. When good battles evil, which side do you believe wins? Do you have faith that good is triumphant? One thing you must never lose is courage. If you believe in the goal you are striving for, you will be courageous. There are many difficult times ahead, but you must keep your sense of humor, work through the tough situations, and enjoy yourself. When you have finished this most likely spiked cup of coffee, your adventure will begin again. Next, you must pass through a vast desert and proceed to the big city of Forside. Ness, Paula, Jeff. I wish you luck. Alright, well now that that coffee trip is over, let's head into this cave. But first we have to get our picture taken. I could have swore he landed on the coffee table, but hey, that's okay. Yep, genius, go ahead, take all our pictures. Alright, now, this next area is completely temporarily skippable. Spoiler alert. But we're gonna go ahead and take it. Hole, Milky Well. Oh great, we've heard that name before, which means there's probably a Your Sanctuary location coming up. What this? Ding! Ding! Alright, now, you want to be prepared for this. Like I said, you can temporarily skip it, and this next area is one of the most technically difficult areas in the game. So, once again, be prepared, and I'll go over some things once we go through, but here we go. Ooh, starting off with lucky enemies. We only have one new enemy right here. Usually you get bum rushed by all three. Well, here we have one of the best enemy names in the entire game, Ranboob. Yeah, Ranboob. I'm not making that up. You saw it. You saw it. In fact, we'll look at it again. Yeah. So PSI fire. Most of the enemies in here, in fact, 2/3 of the enemies that you'll encounter through here are weak to ice. These guys are the 1/3 that is not, but they are weak to fire along with the rest of them too, so go ahead and use your strongest fire on them because these guys are a little bit dangerous. They can use they can use a sleep inducing move, which will put you to sleep, and that's never a good thing, though you can heal that up fairly easily. And they can also put up a shield, even though we're most likely going to be using PSI on them. That's not too dangerous, but yeah, they're not too terrible to take down, but watch your HP carefully. And there goes that shield, but we're going to take him out. Ranboob. I love it. It's such an interesting name. And I'm so surprised that we got that lucky on the entrance here. Alright, but there are much more difficult enemies coming up. In fact, goods, let's go ahead and give a... I don't really have anything. Let's use a protein drink on Paula for now, just in case we get bum rushed by more enemies. And here we have another new enemy. Here we have the Tough Mobile Sprout. Tough Mobile Sprout will steal PP. It can also sow seeds, bringing in more of them. They aren't too terrible to take down, but you want to be very careful because I believe they can also poison you, so be wary of that. Yeah. And the Ranboob's just going to attack as normal. So just fire the hell out of them and use other strong attacks. I'm probably using too much PP, but there should be a magic butterfly location on our path through here. It's a very short path, but like I said, it is very technically difficult. I would say it's very difficult if the path was longer, but it's so short that it's just the fact that the enemies can stack up. If you get all three of the enemies at once, I wish you the best of luck because we have yet to go over the worst one, and I don't see it yet, which is very bizarre. Nope, and there's Dad to tell us we've been playing for a long time. Nope, nope, nope. Yeah, stay out of our business, you jerk. Alright, so where is the worst enemy? There it is. That mushroom is the worst enemy in here. I'm going to try to get it by itself, but I doubt it's going to happen. It's not even coming. There it is. So, one thing about this. This is the Strut and Evil Mushroom. However, this is the second version of the Strut and Evil Mushroom because I admit I missed a enemy bio back when we were Jeff in Winters. The mushrooms in those caves are actually the first version of the Strut and Evil mushrooms, which are red and have identical stats to the Ramblin' Evil mushroom, except for the fact that they have a half a chance of dropping a cookie, a 64 out of 128 chance of dropping a cookie. But these guys are the buffed up version, and they will mushroomize the hell out of your team. You want to take them out as quickly as possible. So use your strongest attacks on them, and hopefully they'll just attack you, because they have no attack whatsoever. But their mushroomization is what will do you in. And we might have gotten a little bit screwed here, since I didn't see any magic butterflies around here. I'm gonna hopefully find a magic butterfly, because we're gonna need some PP for this next portion. I could have swore that magic butterflies were fairly decently occurring around here, but yeah, there is the worst enemy. You want to avoid them at all cost if you can. Paula learned Thunder Beta there, which is interesting, and there we go. Now we have one. I'm gonna life up. Let's see. How far are they? Alright, so I'll life up Alpha on both of them, and that should get them to about where they need to be. Paula's maxed out. She doesn't have that high of HP anyway, but Jeff might not get the full brunt of it. Oh, and he did. Alright, so let's pick this up real quick. And I believe this is a fairly decent occurring location. You can go in and out of this next cave. I'm gonna try that real quick just to see if it is or not. However, enemies can also spawn out here. Oh, unlucky for us. That was on top. Oh, God. Okay, so one quick thing about mushroomization while I'm doing this is there's only a few ways to get rid of a mushroomization. One is to go to a hospital and have the blue-haired guy pick it off of your head. 2 is to go to the hot springs in Saturn Valley. 3 is to find a girl that says she's picking mushrooms. And 4 is to go to a Your Sanctuary location and have it fixed that way. That is actually an uncommon area for enemies to spawn. So I'm going to go ahead and erase those. Here we have a very, very good item. And I highly suggest putting it on Paula or Jeff, because Ness has a stronger item than the Coin of Slumber. But I think I'm actually going to give it to Jeff. No, Paula. She needs... Let's check. Let's see. She's got 50. Jeff has 47, so I probably should give it to Jeff. Let's give it to Jeff. Whoops. Because I think Paula should be fine, especially if I use Ness to heal her. Ness is pretty much my healer. I run Ness as a healer more often than not in some battles, so let's give the Coin of Slumber to Jeff and have him equip that. And it's gonna give him a hell of an offense, or defense. Yes, up to 62, which isn't as good as Ness's at like 70 some, but it's fine. And you want to have everyone healed up here. If you've made it this far with mushroomization, you can go all the way back and try to come through, and get it taken care of, and then try to come back through here without getting mushroomized. Or you can use a Horn of Life, which will get rid of it, I believe. Or I'm not 100% sure on that, so don't quote me. But if you faint and revive a party member, they will be unmushroomized. That's another way. And the last way is to go to a Your Sanctuary location, but I think I already said that. But speaking of Your Sanctuary locations, we have a Your Sanctuary location, and this is not an easy one, surprisingly. I say surprisingly, like it's a bad thing. I don't know why I said surprisingly, but here we go. You finally got here. This is the 3rd Your Sanctuary location, but it's mine now. Take it from me, if you dare. And here we have one of the more interesting looking guys. We have the Trillionage Sprout. I believe that's how you pronounce it. It looks like a very tiny sprout and a whole bunch of dirt with like a giant root system. And he's got 2 tough mobile sprouts with him, which is funny because I think this is one of the only times in the game where you can take down a boss character and have a potential of items being dropped. Because they can drop parsley sprigs, I believe. Anyway, the Trillionage Sprout can use Flash, it can use Paralyzation, it can throw up a PSI shield, and it can also use an attack which will Diamondize you. I didn't put a lot of inflection on that, but Diamondization is one of the worst things that can happen to you. It will basically kill the person that it happens to. They won't be dead, but it's like them being dead. They can't do anything in battle. I don't think they can do anything out of battle. And the only way to fix that is to your sanctuary, go to a hospital, have the blue-haired guy soften you, and use healing gamma. There may be a few other ways, but those aren't really as prevalent, so there's that. This guy is weak to fire. He is not weak to freeze, so use your strongest attacks on him and hope that he doesn't throw that PSI shield up. And I'm also gonna have Jeff throw some bombs at him. Get some splash damage off on those mobile sprouts, because those mobile sprouts are kind of annoying, so you want to try to take them out as quickly as possible, especially since they'll steal PP, and they tried to steal it from Jeff, which is genius. I wish all enemies would try to steal PP from Jeff, because he doesn't have any. If you guys didn't notice that already. So yes, just, he can do a decent amount of damage, so be wary of who's in pain. In fact, I don't like how much damage he just did to Paula, so I'm gonna use a life up on her while she continues to fire him. And I guess we'll shoot some bottle rockets at him. The trillion-inch sprout, like I said, is surprisingly difficult, and I realize why I said surprisingly now, is because he's not too bad, but that diamondization that he has will destroy everything, and unfortunately he just put up a PSI shield, so I'm just gonna have Ness bash him, and Paula bash him as well. Luckily, I believe the bottle rocket will still do regular damage to him. Oh, that is not doing hardly any damage. And he made his psychic shield even stronger, which is stupid. I wish I had the shield killer on me, or the neutralizer. I don't think the neutralizer does anything to that. But yeah, if you have the shield killer by now, which I'm not 100% sure if you have access to it, now would be a great time to use it, since we are getting just destroyed. I'm gonna go ahead and use a fire on him anyway, just because I'm out of ideas, or I'm out of things. And we'll just shoot him. Yep, it's just gonna make it disappear, which is unfortunate. I believe it wears off after a time. Oh, there goes the stare with his eerie eyes, which will diamondize you. That is the attack to watch out for. Atta girl, Paula. Oh gosh, that is just very scary. But trillion-inch sprout goes down. But if you do get diamondized, it's not too terribly bad, because everyone still gets experience, but you just can't do anything. So if it happens at the beginning, you're screwed. If it happens at the end, you're fine. Especially since, you know, we get a Your Sanctuary location, and we get a full heal in the process, which is quite lovely. So let's go on in here and Milky Well it up. Ness thought he heard his mother from far away. She said, "Be a thoughtful, strong boy." And we recorded the melody of the Milky Well. This is an interesting Your Sanctuary location. It's not my favorite, but it's up there. I mean, they're very small places, but you know they're pretty cool. They have unique sprites and stuff. This one's nice. I have a game to where I have a well that has a sign on it that says Milky Well. It's a very weird reference. But yeah, and now all the enemies in here will flee from us, which is fantastic because, you know, getting mushroomized is the worst thing. There may be some areas in here where it's too small to squeeze through the enemies, but that's okay. Run away, Ranboob. Ranboob. That is such a great name. Oh man. It's a weird looking enemy too. I don't like my odds here. I'm gonna erase these guys. Alright, this looks a little bit better. I was wrong! That was a piece of cake. Since we got the opening surprise opening attack, we took them down in one turn, so we're good. And we are back in Saturn Valley. I highly suggest healing up and grabbing a whole bunch of peanut cheese bars, enough to would make you feel comfortable before heading to the next area, because we have to head back to Threed, sorry, because we eventually have to cross the desert to go to Fourside. So we've been to Winnett, Tucson, Threed, and now we're heading to Fourside, but apparently there's a desert in our path, but we'll cross that road when we get there. Next episode, we'll head back to Threek and go from there. And we have 3 Your Sanctuaries done. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you next time.